investors, I hope all of you had a great day and hopefully you had a profitable week. Today, I had a good day. This was my second day in a row of turning a profit, so that was pretty great. Finished with a 2.97% gain. So far this year, I'm up 231.31%, almost to my record of 232%, so extremely close. I had a couple of sales to go through. One was ACER, which had a 9.1% gain. Sold SREV for a 1.6% gain. Both of these had just kind of hit a point where they were over 3 days of insider activity, and so I decided it was time to move out of those and take my profits on those, and hopefully you had profits on those too. I did only one day trade all day long. Just had a really good one early this morning, and so I just didn't feel the need to do any more. And that was ZN. I was able to buy and sell it for a 21% gain, so that definitely helped out my overall goal. And then also, just so you know, I only use 10% of my Catalyst portfolio for day trading. And the reason I do that is just to protect myself. I feel like the insiders are a lot safer, and so I like those picks more. But I was able to buy it at $5.56 this morning at 64 cents, and then I was able to sell ZN at 6.09 this morning for 0.751 cents. And I was really able to take advantage of the early market hours that Webull offers because it opens up so early in the morning. A lot of times you can buy on a stock that's hyped and doing well if the market is up, and when you see Fidelity and Schwab and all those other people come on board at 6 a.m. Central, you can take advantage of those. So that's why I recommend Webull. And if you're wanting an advantage like that, I highly recommend it. Check out the link down below. You get one free stock when you sign up, and you get another free stock when you deposit money. So that is a great one to have. Okay, so monthly, I'm gonna start doing this. I think this is kind of fun. I'm gonna cover every single stock sold in the month of July from the top 7 list. So if you've been watching these videos for all of July, you will recognize a lot of these names. I'm just gonna kind of go through all of them, and I'm gonna talk about how we did. We start with VOLT. VOLT, we sold for a 9% gain. LCA sold for a 3% gain. INO sold for a 6% gain. KIRK sold for even. Now we're to the 7th of the month. UONEK sold for a 12% loss. EPAC sold for a 5.5% gain. VBIV sold for a 4% gain. TTI sold for a 5% gain. So now we're to the 9th. BHTG, 1% loss. GNUS for a 38% loss. That is my nemesis. ABEO for a 10% gain. GRTS for a 12% gain. Now we're the 10th of the month. ZOM for a 1% loss. PSTI for a 0.6% loss. MLHR for a 2% gain. VOLT for a 5% gain. Went into that one again. RDUS for a 1.3% gain. WTI for a 6% gain. Now we're to the 15th of the month. AXGT for a 21% gain. BNED for a 5.5% gain. NBRV for a 4% gain. GNUS, I tried it again, 5% loss. My nemesis, what do you do? BBBY sold for a 9% gain. IDRA sold for a 60% gain, so that was a terrific one. ALEC sold for a 6.5% gain. VOXX sold for a 23% gain. PRSP sold for even. BATRA sold for a 2.6% loss. BCLI sold for a 7% gain. GES sold for a 5.5% gain. AUCT sold for a 2.7% gain. NTWK sold for a 7% gain. EBF sold for a 2.5% gain. ONCT sold for 11% gain. FDX sold for a 2% gain. SCHW sold for a 2% loss. BAC sold for a 1% loss. ONCT sold for a 17% gain. ASA sold for a 5.5% gain. This is now just to this week. T sold for a 1% gain. TRVN sold for a 29% gain, and I just bought it back. LEVI sold for even. ACER sold for a 9.1% gain, and SREV sold for a 1.6% gain. So those were the ones today. Overall, it was a total of 44 sales, 35 wins, 9 losses. That's a really good gain percentage. So 79.5% win percentage And anything over 70%, I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of picking insiders. Overall, had a gain just on the top 7 list. If you were to buy just the top 7 list and sell all those, and you were to buy close to that amount, you would have around a 23.5% overall gain, which is a great gain. You do that every month, you're going to have a very successful year. And we're finally done with that. Right before we get in the top 7, check out our Patreon group. It's a really great thing. You get the newest information. So whenever there's an insider that I find important that I want to buy and get into, I give out notifications, and also I give out kind of like a price target, and we have a certain strategy that we're trying to hit. We're trying to get into that stock at a certain percentage. This video comes out once a day. The one thing that's wonderful about the Patreon group is we update and give out notifications all throughout the day. So the stock market moves really fast. You need that extra tool in order to be even more successful. All right. Well, let's get to the top 7. Okay, so I got 3 that aren't in the top 7 list just because I'm in 10 stocks right now in the Catalyst portfolio. And I have 10% of my portfolio in each and every one. So we have GHL. This is brand new to the list. This was an insider. Today it finished up 7.06%. The CEO has been buying shares every day for 3 business days in a row, so it was just time for me to pay attention to that. And so GHL was one that we called out this morning, and it was time to get into that one. Also, NGM had insider activity last night. Today it finished down 0.48%. But I called it out last night with our Patreon group because the video had already been made. 10% owner, he's been buying up shares. And so that is a good stock to get in. Definitely lots of room to run on that one. We also have VSAT, which we've had VSAT for a little while. It's been on the list for a little bit. Today it finished down 1.15%, but I think that this thing is going to climb. It had a $100 million insider buy. I find that very, very bullish. That was by the Bopest Group, and they paid the exact same price me or you would pay, so it wasn't a special deal or anything of that nature. So it makes me feel very bullish about VSAT, so that's a good stock also. So now to the top 7. In 7th place, we have AQST. AQST finished down today 1.5%. They have a PDUFA date coming up of September 27th, so it's still a long ways off. This is definitely the time to load up and get in there. And also analysts really think a lot of this stock. Pay attention to the analysts. You know, they may have kind of some goofy price targets, that's for sure, but I would say in this case, you know, a lot of people look at those analyst price targets, and new investors look at that, and so I think that this is one that will really run up. Number 6, Lpcn finished up 1.99% today. It has a PDUFA date of August 28th, and it's a testosterone replacement therapy that I think is very marketable, and it's something that will sell well. If the FDA approves it, I'm expecting a big price jump. Lpcn is also a great deal right now, really cheap valuation on it, so I think it's worth quite a bit more than what it's at. Number 5, this is brand new to the list. This is an insider, FRG. So today it finished up 2.04%. It had a $9.3 million insider by the CEO, and he paid retail price. And so that is very, very bullish. So I called that out late last night when I was able to analyze it, take a look at it. A lot of the people in the Patreon group have gotten in on it. It really hasn't moved up that much. So I definitely think it's in the range where you could still make quite a bit of money on it. So there's FRG. It's a good opportunity to get in that one. Number 4 is TTOO. So TTOO finished up 1.84% today. This is a stock that could really take off and go crazy if it just would get a catalyst. And I think right now there's a lot of price targets out there at $4 a share. I think it's easily worth that. And they have a reverse split vote coming up, which is, I think, making investors a little nervous. If you own TTOO, I want to encourage you just to vote no on that. I don't even think it's really something that they need. So they're looking for a reverse split, and I would think that they wouldn't need to do an offering of any kind, but I just vote no on that stuff. I mean, that's a bad value for shareholders, in my opinion. Anyway, I encourage you to do that. Number 3 is FENC. FENC is up 1.38% today. They have an August 10th PDUFA date, so that's coming right up, and that's for our hearing loss therapy. This stock, I think, is really going to run this next week, and it has not really ran that much yet, so you can still get in. This is a great deal, so I think FENC is one that's really going to climb. I mentioned really quickly earlier that I bought back TRVN. I just couldn't help myself. I had sold it and I felt like I sold it too early. Well, I didn't have to live with that decision, so I decided to buy it back. There's a PDUFA date coming up on August 7th, and I think next week, I think we're going to get additional running up, and there is lots of room left to run in TRVN, so getting in now, I think, would be really good. I'm expecting to really run on Monday and Tuesday, that is for sure. And then number one is Psti. So today it finished up 7.1%. Clover Wolf Capital is buying up shares like crazy, and I think this one's a really good run up. This one reminds me of some of the other constant insider buys that have happened in the past. So I think that they're not done, and so there's lots of room to grow, and this is a great time to get into it. I do a lot of work for this list, so if you could do me a huge favor, and please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you would please just subscribe and turn on those bell notifications, I would so appreciate it. I put out one of these videos every weekday. Let's have a fantastic week next week. It's time this market turn around and get hot again. I would love to see that. Raythoven out.